murder rate stunning. What can be done about it?
It is heartbreaking to know that nearly 400 people were murdered last year in Detroit.
Just one murder is way too many, of course, so we wanted to take a look at what's being done to bring those numbers down.
Tonight, 7 Action News reporter Cheryl Choden tells us about efforts to bring justice to those who lost their loved ones to violence.
The murder rate in Detroit knows no boundaries. The victims are all ages, from every kind of background, for all kinds of reasons. But there is a common thread that runs through them all, and it's heartbreak.
My life has been changed forever.
They gathered in the cold with candles to remember a young woman and her boyfriend murdered a year ago. The case still unsolved. A vigil like so many others.
He was my youngest son, and I loved him. I loved him with all of my heart.
386 people were murdered in Detroit in 2012.
The day I found out my brother was murdered was one of the worst days of my life.
Her brother's body was found in Rouge Park last October. His case also unsolved. He had been shot.
Guns are attributed 80% of our homicides, and that's been consistent throughout the years.
It's like a piece of me died with him. You can never bring that back to me.
So many tears, so much sadness. Her father was shot while protecting his nieces. He was a veteran, one of the 386 faces.
Then my nieces had to experience all of it. That hurt the most.
The murder rate is up from a year ago. The agonizing process from the crime scene to the morgue is repeated over and over again, on many days more than once. The medical examiner telling us sometimes there are several autopsies going on at the same time.
Documentation of injury is important because we don't solve crimes the way they do on TV. We are part of the evidence gathering process. We get an individual here, we document the injuries, and based on those injuries, we can give the police an outline of what we think happened to the individual.
This is actually one of the saddest rooms in the city. It's where people come to identify their loved ones who've been killed. And it's not like you see in the movies. No one's going to pull back a sheet and show you a body. They have to look at a face on a computer screen.
It was very heartbreaking, devastating, like nothing I've ever felt in my life.
This can be heart-churning a lot of times, but it's necessary for us to move on to the next phase.
Compare Detroit to other major cities, it's up there, even though our population is down. Chicago had about 500 murders. Gang violence is blamed. New York, 414, actually down. Police have a stop and frisk policy there. Windsor had only 3. Some say it's a ban on handguns. But back here at home, where forensic evidence can take months, where the case closure rate in Detroit, say investigators, is 42%, the victims and police want the very same thing. They want to find out who took a loved one's life, and they want some justice.
Detroit Police Department is working diligently and tirelessly, trying to bring some closure to you and bring you some answers.
For this to be solved, for my brother to have some type of justice, it would mean everything to myself and my family.
We all need to come together and stay together and find out why this happened to our loved ones.
So how can we ease some of the pain, bring the numbers down? What can be done to give hope to those who desperately want a safer city? We went looking for answers tonight at 11.